Hello again, everyone. Tonight you are in for an exciting episode of Engen Pitch Polish 2023 with me, your host, Aldrin Siphe. Now, if you recall from last week, we are down a contestant in the green group because Noreen Sully of Connect the Dots Training and Consulting decided to withdraw. That means tonight we'll be seeing only one pitch, and then we'll find out which two contestants from the green group will go through to round two. The last time we were together, we saw the pitches of Moses Kekana of Green Kid Enterprise and Makatu Chifura of The Light Candles. The judges gave them both a fair working over as they tried to determine if they had viable businesses on their hands. With Noreen out, the chances of going through have improved, but someone from the green group is definitely going home this evening. Before we meet tonight's contestant, remember we'll be giving away another fantastic 5,000 Rand Evo Super Shop voucher from Nedbank to one lucky viewer. So best you pay attention if you want a chance to win. Right now though, it's time to get pitching. Meet Siphe Mnyaka of Depobai Studios, which is based right here in Gauteng. Good luck, Siphe.
Hi there, Siphe.
How are you doing?
Good, good. This year dressed really in a magnificent way.
Thank you. Came prepared.
And what's the purpose of the stick?
So it's just to show our the style of our company and the fact that we're Afrocentric in our approach.
Okay, great. Siphe, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pitch and polish.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Siphe Mnyaka. I am a copyrights attorney from Depobai Studios. We currently have a staff complement of 5 junior animators and we have 3 executives in our team. We are an Afrocentric animation studio. We've worked with a number of big corporations such as your Urban Brew Studios, and currently we have 4 products in the market. One of those products is currently airing on SABC and ETV. We also have a value proposition, and the value proposition is that we have a mobile game that teaches mathematics in an indigenous language. Now, the reason for this is that language can become a barrier to education, and we're addressing that issue. The mobile game also focuses on developing the cognitive skills of children, and it also helps with perseverance because we do award perseverance in the game. Now we're also looking at getting into the business-to-business model, and particularly petroleum as well as energy. Now, in order for us to get into these sectors, we'd like to use 150,000 Rand for our marketing strategy, 150,000 Rand to get more salespeople on our team. We'd also like to use 100,000 Rand to bolster our game so that we can enter the market and start earning revenue. With your assistance in this program, we do believe that we can become the next Walt Disney. Thank you so much.
Siphe, good timing. Let's go to questions from you, Monique.
I love the name. Conjures up very nice memories and vibes from younger days of Dipopaai. Explain to me the 3 different businesses that you've spoken about now. So I thought you were focused around animation, but it seems there's an education arm, and the third piece. Why the diversity?
So with us, because like I said, we'd like to become the next Walt Disney. Our long-term vision is to set ourselves up as an entertainment center for children, and we would also like to set ourselves up as an educational hub in animation, because there is a skills shortage in the country, and we see ourselves as becoming an animation college in the future. With regards to the mobile game, we saw the value and the money in the sector, particularly in private education, as well as in your early childhood development practitioners as well. So that's why we've got a multifaceted approach towards the company, and that's why if you look at the group the executive structure of the company, it's broken up into 3 individuals who each deal specifically with one specific pipeline of the business.
Unpack the B2B piece for me.
So we'd like to create explainer videos for health and safety in the workplace. So we've seen that a lot of companies actually do this, and there's quite a lot of money in it, and we'd like to tap into this market. However, we can't at this point because we don't have visibility. So with the money that we'd get from the program, we then increase our online and offline presence so that these companies can reach out to us and they can use us. And we do have the history and the background and the expertise as well to back that up.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to know on the financial side, I mean, just how your business has grown over the period that it's been operating.
So in the past 2 years, our revenue has increased by 50%. And we've jumped from making about 200,000 an annum to 400,000 in the past year. So I think with this program and the interventions that we'll get as a result of the program, I think we can double that amount, if that answers your question.
Excellent, thank you.
From my perspective, let me ask you a hypothetical question. If I was the evil fairy, okay, and I forced you to choose one of those 3 right now, you had to. Otherwise, somebody's going to die. You have to choose. Which one do you choose?
We'd go with animation because we always lead with the production side of things. Everything else is an add-on. So, for instance, right now we have a children's animation that's airing on SABC. We want to branch out into merchandising. We also want to branch out into gaming as well. But the core of our business is production.
Okay. The second thing is around the explainer videos.
Yes.
So how does that link into your Afrocentric theme?
So the
Is that just opportunistic? And perhaps because Engen's in the room.
So for us, it's always about brand alignment, and I think health and safety is an important thing. If you look at the country in terms of Marikana and all these other situations that have happened, particularly in the mining sector, we see the importance of education, as well as education about animation as a career as well. So for us, anything that informs aligns with our brand because we do see ourselves as an animation college in the future.
Okay. Siphe, you can go.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, Siphe, your thoughts?
Did anyone get the whole Afrocentric link to the whole concept? I was wondering about it. I was like thinking, okay, even as he explains it, I still don't see that link. So that was quite interesting for me. Otherwise, the concept of animation and education for me really made a lot of sense in terms of what they're speaking to as a business. But it would be interesting to just see what their future plans are. I mean, the energy or petroleum, HSC, I mean, I think it was good you asked that question because as he clarified, he still sort of made it clear that it's really around children education and entertainment and so on, which I think I was getting confused a little bit as we went through that. Yeah, but otherwise, yeah.
I think that was opportunistic. Yeah, which is, I give it to him, but it's about focus for me.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where I come from. I love the business. I think there is so much of opportunity there, but I think that he's dabbling a bit too much. The B2B piece was like really like why, and then the merchandising. So he just dug a deeper hole as he spoke. Yeah. It needs the focus, and 200,000 to 400,000 per annum.
Yeah. It's
and
50%.
50%. And now, again, the numbers are not telling.
I didn't know if there was revenue or profitability. I couldn't work that out.
Yeah, I also couldn't work it out what it was. But yeah, I'm very conflicted. I must say, I think that there is so much of potential from an education perspective and with animation.
But there are a lot of players in this market, and the economics in this industry are tough. You know, you have to be really efficient in production. So
maybe that's where the Afro centricity comes in. You know, is that they're just
to his
being
point,
authentic.
he's trying to differentiate. I just don't
Yeah,
think he's been successful.
no.
Siphe, you walked in with a magic wand there. Do you think it did the business?
I think so, I believe so, yes.
You believe so? Why? Why do you make that argument?
I think the judges probably bought into the business of education, first and foremost, and I also think animation has quite a skills shortage in the country. And I just think they might go for me, yeah.
Okay, tell us what the future holds for you though and what you want to build here. You spoke about a college and you also spoke about becoming the next Walt Disney.
Yes, so we see ourselves in the next 10 years becoming a college in animation. We see ourselves getting funded and continuing our service work, but more importantly, building our own original intellectual property and setting ourselves up as one of the animation giants in Africa.
Yeah, not only in South Africa.
No, Africa.
We're taking on the continent.
Yes.
The Green Group has certainly presented us with an interesting mix of business types: waste management, candle making and animation. It must make for some interesting discussion between the judges, right? It's not like they are comparing apples with apples here. It's more about comparing apples to bananas and strawberries. For more thoughts about this fruit salad of business peaches, let's join the judges for a quick chat before they head off for their deliberations. Judges, it is your favorite contestant, who you're going to see at every single round, whether you vote me off or not. I'm going to remain here. So it was the Green Group that came in now. Monique, the Green Bank. What does the Green Bank say about the Green Group?
You never know where that pendulum is going to swing.
Alon, the other difference about this group as well is that instead of having 4 contenders, we had 3.
Yeah, so one of them fell out and in the last minute for whatever reason. But I suppose that's entrepreneurship, because in entrepreneurship things happen, and sometimes that's good for you and sometimes that's bad for you. So it's bad for the viewers, but it's good for the contestants.
Do you have a favorite, Sipokazi?
Very diverse.
Give us
very
a hint. Come on, give us a hint.
Now we'll have
Are
to
we
wait and
burning
see.
candles? Are we collecting waste? What's the other one again?
Anything is possible.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite perhaps has to be Moses. I did tell Moses, though, that he's not going to get any brownie points because I'm from Velkom and his business is in Kroonstad. So he's not getting any brownie points for that, right? But let's speak about Moses' business. Were you sold?
A solid business, a business owner that clearly understands his business. He understands how he's going to use the money. Very succinct.
Yeah. And then there is Makato. Were you convinced? Sipokazi?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's candles. So how is he differentiating himself? How is he making sure that his product is recognizable? So that will be interesting to sort of understand a bit more.
Candles is candles. Is candles really just candles? Some candles really stand out. Don't want to mention any names. Starts with an M. Very expensive at that as well. Alon, Siphe, what do you think about him and the magic wand that he walked in with? He said that it's all about the Afrocentric move.
Well, that wand, it didn't work on my colleagues here. They were just leaking out information. Oh, WikiLeaks was happening here. I'm saying nothing. You'll hear it in the elimination.
You're saying nothing on that. But what about the finances, though? Were you convinced about his finances?
No, I was not convinced. He didn't convince me. He understood the finances. He didn't speak about the full 650. I'd use he only, I think, mentioned 450. I was sort of adding up. So 150,000 on new salespeople, people as in more than one person.
Yeah.
What type of people, for how long, doesn't make sense. He hasn't thought about that.
Yeah, I have to say, even with the question that Sipokazi asked about the finances, the first year he spoke about that they made about 200,000, and he said then the next year it all of a sudden doubled, but we're not too sure exactly how he got to those figures.
Yeah, no, it will be very interesting to unpack that, because it just kind of was not adding up as he was explaining it. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, and you guys have a difficult decision to make because only one can go this time around. Judges, it's all in your hands. While we wait for the judges to make that decision, let me take a moment to thank the sponsors of the 2023 Engen Pitch Polish competition. Thank you to our title sponsor, Engen Petroleum, our co-sponsor, Nedbank, and also our program organizer, Race Corp. It's amazing how they are supporting entrepreneurship through initiatives like these. Oh, okay. Wait, they're ready. Okay, folks, let's join our judges and the 3 green group contestants in the pitching arena to hear their fate.
Welcome, gentlemen. So we have the unenviable task of eliminating one of you today. As you know, you had a 4th contender that stepped out before they contended, so it actually made it a little easier for you. So it makes it easier for 2 of you, but for one of you, you're going to feel a little disappointed today. So let's start in order of how you came out today. So let's start with you, Moses. I thought you had a solid pitch. Everyone here really was impressed with your pitch. It had gravitas, felt like you know what you're doing. You've been doing this for a long time. What I particularly liked about your pitch was how you expressed how you've dominated the area in which you work. You've seemed to have grown and taken more and more dominance in that space. And as an entrepreneur, dominance is a very important part of success in an area. You also seem to have included the community, you know the whole ecosystem. And so I find you incredibly professional as a businessman. What was negative, however, for me was you never spoke about what you were going to do with the 650,000. We had to ask you that question. You're pitching for it, but you were just basically doing an advert for your business. So this is what I do. So you're not really pitching, you're advertising. There's a big difference. You also never explained to us how you're going to grow. So even though you have been growing, what we were trying to understand is if 650,000 Rand comes into your business, how you would take that and double your business and double the impact you have and double the employment you have and really make an impact and perhaps even move to another town or city, with the knowledge and the dominance that you have. That never came through. And the last thing that I think you really messed up on was not talking about the demand. So you spoke about the supply side, but you weren't talking about the demand side. In other words, we could grow 10 times the size and there's still a market for it. So I can't work out as somebody sitting here whether you've now at 100% of the market and 650,000 is going to do nothing for you. It's going to actually change the life of your business. But having said all of that, you are one of the businesses that will stay.
Thank you.
All right, so it leaves the other 2 of you. So it's interesting when I'm looking at the notes here how similar you are. Makatu, great pitch, really fantastic pitch. For Siphe, you've dressed up for this pitch, you put effort into the pitch. You've really tried to link the Afrocentric USP to your pitch. So, you both did a decent pitch. Makatu, what I particularly like about your pitch and about you is that you sell. That you are the one who said, I go out and sell. And if there's one thing that makes a successful entrepreneur, it's somebody who goes out and sells. And you, Siphe, were one of the few people that we've seen in the first round who highlighted the USP and tried to bring that in. However, when it came to, from the negative side, when it came to actually what your business does, there was no focus. I mean, I wrote here, focus. There was just, feels like we'll do whatever you want. You want us to do videos on this, we'll do it this and that and this and whatever you want, I'll do it. There's a big market there. But then I asked, well, you spoke about being Afrocentric and now you're doing explainer videos, you know, so if you're going to do that, then mention the fact that you're going to do that in an Afrocentric way or whatever the case may be. Both of you, the numbers we couldn't understand the numbers. Your numbers didn't make sense to us. We didn't know if your growth was turnover, your growth was profitability. We assumed it was turnover, and therefore you spoke about 50% growth over 2 years, but your numbers didn't add. You didn't bring your numbers in as well. So from both perspectives, like numbers brought you both right down. With you, Makatu, the branding issue, by this stage now, I think branding should have been there by now. It's one of the important things. So I know you've got your brochure, but I believe that by this point, the branding has to have come in because unlike your competitor right now, who's very focused on USP, you've got no USP. You speak about the 4 extra hours or the high quality, but how are you communicating it in the product? So which one of you stays and which one of you goes? You're both bad at numbers. You're both good at the selling and the pitching. So which one goes? The person who will go home today is Siphe. Well done to you, Makatu. You may leave. Right, gentlemen, so you've had a lot of feedback, and you, Makatu, have had quite harsh feedback. Please take that feedback, use it in the next round. It's very important that you use it. Pitch and polish is about polishing. It's about taking the feedback from the judges and polishing. If you come back with the same pitch next time, you're going to have very little chance of getting through to the next round. So go work with your guides, work on that pitch again, and come back, and we want to see something even better. You may leave.
Whew, well done to Moses and Makatu on making it through to the second round. And it's farewell to Siphe, who unfortunately will be going home. Join me in wishing him all the very best as he continues to build Depobai Studios to new heights. Now, what would you do with a 5,000 Rand Evo Super Shop voucher from Nedbank? Yes, it's time for our viewer competition. Entering is as easy as answering the question we are showing you on your screen right now. What's the first question Siphokazi from Engen asked Siphe? What's the first question Siphokazi from Engen asked Siphe? Send us a WhatsApp to 068-707-5187 with the right answer and your name before midnight tonight, and you'll go into our random draw. We'll contact the winner before 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon and also post their name on social media later this week. And that's it for tonight. My second elimination. Oof, the stress. Although, to be fair, I guess it's nothing compared to the stress that the contestants feel. Join me again next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. when we'll meet the first 2 contestants from the Blue Group. For now though, good night from me, Aldrin St. Pierre. I'll catch you on the pitch side.
Looking back, I think the finance aspect of it, we didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. So I think in the future, we need to really figure out our finances and how we articulate that to a judge.